In this training video, you will learn how to modify a purchase order for a project before it is interfaced. So as you can see, we're starting off in our PM material detail session. We have just entered in all of our line items that we would like to purchase from our vendor, Crane Supply, and here all of our quantities have been entered, and we've initialized it and now have a purchase order number issued to us with all of our PO line items. Now we need to make a change to this purchase order by changing an item. In order to change an item, we're going to remove this line item, and we're going to add a new line item. Because we're in the initialized state, we can still make as many changes to this purchase order as we need to. So we're going to remove this line by highlighting it and clicking the delete button. It then asks you if you want to remove sequence 12, being sequence 12 on the left hand side, and I'd like to remove it by hitting yes. As you can see, all other line items remain. Now I want to add in my correct part number for this vendor. And you'll notice as I'm keying this in, a purchase order is not provided as I go. Once I've finished keying in my line, I can now hit the initialize button, and it will add it to this original purchase order because this purchase order is still in the initialized state and has not been interfaced over to the purchase order module. I will now click initialize, and as you can see, it's now added the purchase order number, and the PO item number is now 6. So what this just did was it removed sequence 12 for me, which was the wrong material code, and it was PO item number 6. When we deleted it, now we've added a new part number under sequence 12 again and under PO item number 6. So we just replaced the item. You can also rekey this. If it's still in the initialized state, you can actually key over a material code. My recommendation is actually deleting the line and adding a new one, but you can or do have the option to key in the field. It will update your description. The risk in doing exactly what I just did is forgetting to update your unit or your quantity that you would like to purchase. So I would highly recommend you deleting the line and keying in your correct line. Once you've completed all of your changes to your initialized purchase order, you can then interface the purchase order to the purchasing module. As you can see, I now have the PM interface screen in front of me, but I am not able to interface my purchase order. The reason for this is because we missed the step of completing our PM PO header form. So after initializing, you have to always remember to complete the PM PO header form. And as you recall in previous training videos, there are a few fields we have to fill in. You have to complete your buyer ID. If there's an expected ship date, you can enter that in as well. You need to enter in your bill location. If you're unsure of what it is, hit F4 and choose it from the lookup table. Lastly, you click the approved checkbox. On the shipping tab, you need to confirm that you're shipping this to the correct address. Currently, we're checked to ship to job. If you need to ship it to a branch, you can uncheck this, and in the shipping location field, you can select the branch address you would like to ship it to. In this case, I'm going to ship it direct to the job. I can now save the PM PO header form and close the screen. Now when I click interface, the purchase order is available to interface over to the purchase order module. I will validate it. I can preview the reports, and I'm going to interface it. And again, when we're interfacing, this is the indication that it is still working on the interface. And once it interfaces, you will receive a window pop up that says the interface was successfully completed. Once your interface is complete, you can close the screen and you end up back on your PM Material Detail tab. Once you've completed your interface, you can now go over to the purchase order module into the Reports folder and print off your PM project purchase order and issue it to your vendor. This concludes how to complete a modification to a PM project purchase order once it's initialized before it's interfaced to the purchase order module.